Yuki is offered to lend his hand in the said rescue plan. Hearing this made Nell shocked. Although it sounds really reassuring, it seems like a bit too much for a literal demon lord like Yuki. Yuki then explains that since the current king is against the invasion of the haunted forest, then he is better off with him instead of the prince. Everything would end faster if you just assassinated the prince himself, but there might be problems coming from the search for the culprit behind the assassination. There is a risk that he might be found out, so it's better to move to another shadow for now instead. That's why he has to make sure the 18 prince and works hard in order to defeat the prince. But he doesn't think that they will just trust and accept his aid, Nell states. It's not like they'll say it frankly like that. Knowing that being a demon lord would intimidate everyone, Yuki has decided to put on some masks or disguises. However, Nell thinks that his cover would blow up right away though, knowing how clumsy and unbothered Yuki is. However, with all assurance on his face, Yuki tells Nell to leave everything to him as he already has a plan in mind. With that said, the meeting has now ended and Nell makes her way out of the forest, but this time not alone, but with Yuki. Yuki then says his goodbyes to the girls, who wish him to have a safe trip. Even Luffy, who is known to be such a cold-hearted person, gets closer to Yuki and holds his face, saying that just because she is not by his side doesn't mean he can go around flirting with other girls and come home late. Left speechless by what Luffy said, Yuki only says yes immediately. Luffy then states that it's all good as long as he gets it. She also assures Yuki that everything is in control as she will make sure the girls will be safe at all times. With that said, Yuki and Nell then hop on Fenrir and make their way to the capital. That night, the girls are having a girls' talk where they talk about how they feel so comfortable with Yuki. Lewin then reasons that she feels that the reason why it feels so cozy being around Yuki is because of his magic power. Luffy then agrees as Yuki's magic power has a different nature based on the individual after all. Although it is a bit hard for Luffy to explain it, she doesn't really get it as well. But one thing is for sure, Yuki's magic power has a kind of power to attract others. Not only Iruna, but even the hero like Nell herself. She somehow referred to it as a womanizer talent. On the other hand, it seems like Iruna has something to ask Luffy for a while now. She is able to notice the ring that Yuki has given Luffy, so she is curious about it. When asked, it seems like Luffy was caught a little bit off guard, as she's now a bit flustered while stating that she is able to perceive the ring from Yuki. Yuki has made the girls excited as they thought that states while stuttering that it's not the case at all. But the girls are not more curious about what other people think of Yuki as they seem to get along well. There are even some instances that the girls are able to witness both of them being things that she doesn't know since it's the first time she's ever experienced such a thing. It was her first time meeting someone who didn't face her with fear and hostility. It's her first time spending so much time with someone else. Every day is fun, but she hasn't had this experience in the past, so she can't really compare. That's what she still doesn't know how she feels about it. With that said, they're talking throughout the night. Meanwhile, Yuki and Nell have now finally reached the capital. However, it seems like the whole capital is on high alert, as the walls are guarded very heavily. As a result, Yuki has decided to use his self-skill to get in. Now this marks the Demon Lord and the hero duo charging in. After they have successfully entered the capital walls, Nell nags at Yuki for treating her a bit harshly during their unexpected flight. Yuki, who is also a bit guilty, says his apologies immediately. However, he had also emphasized the fact that he had warned her before he even lifted her off. Yuki, who has no idea how loud he speaks, almost caught the guard's attention. Nell immediately shoots him off, saying that she'll get incriminated in no time if anyone sees them together. Since the guards are already going their way, Nell has decided to shut her mouth as well and continue their bickering later. As the guards rushed to where they landed, Yuki and Nell left the place discreetly. As they take a peaceful walk down the capital's alleyways, Yuki somehow manages to notice that the place is awfully quiet. Nell then shows her frustration, considering she knows that the city is usually vibrant and not this expectedly dull. It seems like current affairs have the capital residents scared for their lives. On the other hand, while Nell is getting all gloomy and sentimental, Yuki is seen putting on his disguise, an awkward mask. He decided to do so just in case, since he is, after all, the demon lord that everyone fears. He wouldn't want a bunch of baby-faced church folk to remember his face. However, despite his efforts, Nell warns him that he must not think that there's any point in hiding his face. But he must not grumble if they say they won't let him into the church's hideout. Yuki then states that by that time, he'll move on his own however he sees fit. He will also state that it would be nice if they could twist the story into the church people overthrew the prince. Suppose he could get more information. He'd be really grateful. In the middle of their conversation, Nell notices something they didn't expect at all. A horde of zombies is now coming their way. Yuki then states that he knew something was up the moment they got to the capital. And since there were too many of them, they decided to take a detour. However, Yuki knows that they can't do that either. And it seems like Yuki was right. It turns out that due to his navigating abilities, he pretty much knows or has an idea where the zombies are. However, the only thing that confuses Yuki is the fact that the guards are just letting these things roam free, and it doesn't look like they're trying to get rid of them at all. This leads them to the conclusion that maybe the guards are doing such a thing on purpose. As a result, they ended up taking care of some on their own. Nell still uses her undead spell, which intrigues Yuki. After asking what that holy magic was, Nell then states that the church has taught her about it, and she teasingly states that she bet it will work great on the evil demon lord as well. As Yuki fights the zombies hand in hand, Nell effortlessly chants her spell, and voila, everything is solved. As Yuki slowly observes Nell's spell chanting, he realizes that using a chant could affect the power output of the spell. Other than that, Yuki has also noticed that even though Nell doesn't seem like it, but she is actually quite scared of the dead. Nell then reasons that it's quite scary when one can't hit the enemy, so she gets this precision magic to do the trick. However, it's the priest's job to purify his secrets. After all, Nell's job description is just to give public law and order, and it's not her job to bust ghosts.